Ghetto white women that want to be black, but they do not want the black struggle. And so this video I'm making here, it's it's pretty of a hot button topic, and I don't know if people really realize what time we're in. We're in the year of 2016, and this year is about to end, and we're moving forward to 2017. But there's been a lot of talk about interracial dating and interracial coupling, and you often see really abrasive, rude videos and gender wars. And it's usually black males who compare black females to white females. And so this is a clip of white females, just your average white females. They wear tattoos. Some are skinny, some are heavy, some are medium built, some are muscular, athletic. They're women, they're people. And I don't know what the big buzz is, but there's a lot of hype that white women are better than black females. And I believe a lot of that is because there's been a social divide between black males and black females, and a lot of that is racism. And this is a black family with black children. And so you have people that get online and they vent their frustration because chances are they had some bad experience with an individual, so they base that bad experience and they use it as a tool or a weapon to post some of the most hateful comments towards black females. And recently there was 10 reasons why I date white women over black women, and this was by a rapper. And it's amazing because when I first saw the post of, him being with his wife and his newborn, or well, she's not newborn now, he had a daughter with his wife, there were white people that didn't know that he was even black. Ice-T. So because his wife is Coco and she's white, and Ice-T is real light complexion. And so there's a lot of ignorance and naivety out there. And you'll see clips of this male. I don't know who he is. Maybe some of you do. And he's posed with Ice-T's wife. And this might have been way before, or, I didn't keep track of it or anything. But in other words, it's a depiction. There was some talk that she was cheating. I don't know if there's any validity in all of that. I just think that the posting of this shows how gullible most black males are for white females. So that was my point in doing that. But if you see Ice-T in his earlier years as a child, you definitely know he's a black male. And, if you see him now, he's really light skinned. In the black culture, we have different skin tones. So I let's clear that up. I believe that white people assume that black people are all the same colors, skin-wise. And if you look at history, whiter or lighter skin black people were treated a different way than the darker skinned black people. So there's even infighting within our culture. But this is Ice-T with his wife Coco, and you can see, if you really pay attention, that he's just light complexion, but he's black, and she's white. And I'm not saying that it's bad to date outside of your culture. I think it's fine as long as you're doing it because you really care about the person and you really have a connection with that individual, and it's fine. So you'll see a lot of interracial coupling, and so probably more so now today. But I think what upsets women of color who aren't white is when black males get online and post a lot of hatred towards black females and compare white females who haven't had white, they've only had a white experience, and they kind of try to take on the attitude as if they are black. And I've seen white females who are just as ghetto, and they're not that attractive. Like some of the black males will compare black females to white females, and they'll say that they're attractive and they're better looking, and and I think it's just a lot of hate. And so you get a group on here that'll compare white females to black females, and you see them, they try to take on the persona as if they are black, but they're white. They'll even wear their hair a particular way, and if a black female has always worn her hair in an African style, like braids, or even if she decides to wear a weave, they make fun of that black female and talk about her for days. But if it's a white female wearing braids, or a white girl weave, or white girl extensions, she's worshipped and she's treated as though she is a lot better, more desirable, and more attractive than the black female. And so you have a lot of interracial coupling and famous interracial couples. And it almost seems like people take the lead in doing something, and it becomes trendy in society. And if they see it and they say, oh, okay, you've got all these black men, they're going for, white females, or they're going for, other races of females. But the thing that is disturbing is these females, while they're being compared to black females, they're wearing, or they're dressing, or their persona is as if they're a black female when they aren't. So they like black culture, they like the styles of hair, they like the men, and there's comparisons in relationships from, being that's Khloe Kardashian, you've seen Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, and you'll see like the hairstyles, you'll see the hairdos, the cornrows, and primarily these hairstyles are like Afrocentrism. But it's nothing wrong with people appreciating Afrocentrism and African culture, but when a black woman is put down for her own culture, and then a white woman is wearing an Afrocentrism hairstyle or culture of black people or African people, and she's looked at as more attractive, it's an insult. And so, a lot of times they say, white women and, Hispanic women and other women of other races, Asian women, they're so beautiful, they're in shape. But I've seen white women who are big, and they're heavy, and sometimes they can go to clubs and hang out, and they can be loose, and they have attitudes where they can be ghetto, and they can be loud, obnoxious, they can come off as rude. And when you have a group of males who look at women like this, no matter what culture you're from, if you put yourself out there to be vulnerable, to be taken advantage of, it doesn't matter how you look and who you are and where you come from. Just because you're white doesn't mean they're not looking at you in a bad way. They may seem as though they're putting you up on a pedestal, but they really aren't. They're looking at it as, this woman is easy. She wants it. She thinks we desire her because she's white. And I've seen white women who try to take on the persona as if they're ghetto or ghetto-y, and chances are they either, not all of them come from like a low income situation. Some of them, maybe they just like the culture, or they like being with a particular group of people, so they feel as though that they have to assimilate to that culture to kind of say, well, we're down with you as people. We can act and carry on the persona as if we're black too. I've seen white girls with, they're smoking and they're doing drugs, and they have, the white girl weave, and they you almost never see any videos of black guys pointing out how ratchet this is, but they don't have any problem showing videos of black women or black women who maybe you can almost expect, if you come from a situation where there's a lot of poverty and there's a lot of, you know, uh, bad behavior and stuff, you can see this. But okay, what's up with a class of people who you would normally assume that come from a neighborhood where there's lots of poverty? Let's say she didn't even come from that, but she's taking on the attitude as if she did. So something is seriously wrong with that. And so this, you see, where, there's a weave, and you see, ridiculous pictures of white people, you almost never see enough of this. And this is a group, probably they're college students or high school students. I didn't really look it all through, but it was supposed to be a party of Crips and Bloods. But I believe they were poking fun of it. So here's my point. I believe, I guess he's the Eminem wannabe. So I believe that there's some black people, some of them who they put other cultures high up on a pedestal, but trust me, they're human just like we are. They make mistakes just like we do. They have problems just the same as we do. It's just some of this is ignorance and not being allowed to go outside of your neighborhood and see all of the problems that these other cultures experience. You see this woman, she says, "Will I be accepted?" Apparently they have issues where they have single mothers. It's always looked at as it's black women, they're left with babies, and they're, illegitimate babies, and they're ghetto. And look at this white girl. She's got a tattoo on her stomach, she's got a baby, and she's smoking a cigarette. Is that even healthy for the kid? No. But yet you have these black men who will compare white women to black females, and I believe that is unfair to do that when the situations aren't the same. The racism that has been dealt towards black people is not the same. So it's unfair. So here you see the survival of our race is the survival of the planet. So this right here, the reason why I use this is because some white people feel like their race is dwindling and that they need to procreate, have more babies. But this could be a problem because you have a new generation, a new culture of people who are intermixing. So here it says White Women's Society for the Prevention of Cruelty Against Black Males. So you have a lot of these black men, some of them that are on here, or most of them, I'll say, that I've seen the videos that complain about black females and all of the ratchetness and the ghetto-ness and the loudness, and I hate black women and their feminism. And maybe the reason why they choose that is because they're protecting themselves from these type of individuals. He will do everything to support this white woman, but you tend to forget our culture and the whole ideology of breaking apart black families, where that came from. Slavery. So you're going to see some clips of an old slave poster, and you see these families, it's male and female, and her family's going to be split apart, and then you see an auction. That's what that whole thing was about. And what they do is they split up the male and the female, and they split the children up, and they send them off to different plantations. You may never see your sister, your brother. You may never see your mother or father again. And so later down the road in history, we've seen where there was a lot of segregation before integration. And segregation is where there were white people who only wanted to only deal with only white people and go to school with white people and do business and live around in housing facilities only around only their own people or people that look like them. So black people were unwelcomed, as you see in those signs. So now you see this white woman who is wearing, clearly as you see, their dreads. Now, some people will wear this and they can pull this off and it looks beautiful. I believe anybody could wear this, but what is the reason for it? And I believe that upsets some people, because if it's a black person, sometimes women get demonized. Oh, you need to straighten your hair, and we have a lot of issues with hair. So that's a whole nother video altogether. So this one is how to catch a black man. And usually you see women like this is who they wind up with, or women like the next clip you're going to see and the next clip. And you don't see them posting any videos about the negativity of what can happen in other cultures of women who aren't black. Okay? And so it's sad, because that's where a lot of this really, I believe, the gender warring and all that is, because people don't really know the severity of what has been done to black males and females and black families to split us up. There's been a lot of things that have happened to split us up so that you can't procreate. Like I did a video on Margaret Sanger. There's also other issues, plenty of issues that show that there was a lot of plots to stop procreation of black people so you can have more black people. And then there was a lot of plots to stop black people from having decent black families. So there's lots of conspiracy around that whole thing. And so you're going to see this clip again, and this is, some of the embarrassing things that other cultures do. But you don't see that enough. You always see what black people's tragedies and downfalls are. So this is a couple, and they're an interracial couple. But if something happens to her, how do you think they're going to treat this black male? And see, this is what black men tend to forget. She is looked at as a victim, okay? And you are looked at as this crazy street Negro. Leon Walls goes haywire in Target, stabs and slashes beautiful, okay? They had to stress that, beautiful 16-year-old white girl, Allison Meadows, almost dead. So they already have it out for you. They've painted a picture that you're a criminal, that you're a Negro. They had to stress that, and that is something wrong with you. You're like a savage. So you see these people, and they're gathered around, and this is a funeral, okay? This is a funeral of Emmett Till. And so for those of you that don't know the background of Emmett Till, this was in Chicago. This has new evidence in whistle slang. And this was of a black boy who he supposedly, I guess he looked or eyed a white woman or whistled at her, and he was savagely beaten, and he was attacked brutally and burned, and whoever knows what else they did, but I believe his body was thrown in the Tallahatchie River. And there were news clippings, and it catapulted the whole situation of civil rights. And it's almost like revisiting what we're going through now with the police killings of black males, with the Trayvon Martin case, and all of the other black males that followed thereafter, and still even today. And so that's what upsets a lot of the black community, because it's like you're opening up old wounds. And for black men to get on here and compare black women to white women is a total insult, outside of all of the things that we have experienced. It's like the most total insult, but to your own culture. So those people are really horrible that get online and say these things, and I don't know if they all know about the severity of what happened to black men if they even looked at a white woman the wrong way. Well, this is a good reminder here. And there's still people that feel like interracial dating is not a good idea in terms of black males being with white females. Now, white females tend to want, they want to be involved with black males for all the stereotypical reasons that are out there. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't be together, but I think you need to do your homework if you get in interracial relationships about some of the things that you might encounter. And, it's not that it can't go the other way. It's just sad. And also, there was a rapper, Lil Wayne, he made jokes in a rap song about Emmett Till. And so there was a big backlash where the cousin wanted him to apologize, and he did eventually, and I believe there might have been some more to that story. But this is a young black guy. Obviously he hasn't read his history enough, but for him to use his own culture and put that in a rap song and make a joke of it, or either poke fun of it, or attribute it to a woman's female anatomy, is just disgusting. And so this is the kind of males that are online posting all this negativity about black females and comparing black females to white females. So white females, be aware if you come across young men like this who haven't read their history and they're not really with you for the right reasons. Not because they love you, it's because this is a trendy thing. Something's wrong with that. Okay? You just saw part of the story of Emmett Till. And this is the mother. She is in real pain emotionally over her son being murdered. And so you're going to see his gravesite, probably some more clippings of the funeral, and you're going to also see, if you hadn't already seen the gravesite, you're also going to see a marker where it was recently riddled with bullets, because there's still that seed of hate there. Even though those people that might have been participating in that whole incident, they may be dead and gone by now. You've got grandkids, great grandkids. This is the marker of Emmett Till, the river where his body was thrown in there, and it's riddled with bullets. So that hate is still there. So black males who compare white females to black females, you need to read your history, and you need to think about what you might end up being like.